what's up, everybody? What's going on? What is going on? All right. Seems though audio is good. All right. What's going on, everybody? Welcome. This is season 4. Yes, season 4. Wow, season 4. 4 years, huh? 4 years of this of my broadcasting on here, but more than that, actually, of my Q&A show. Welcome to Sunday Funday Q&A again. My name is Jonathan, aka you guessed it, KleinGuy Jon. Welcome to the channel. Oops, that's a little too high. That's a little too hot, right there. All right. Hope everybody had a awesome. I know this is pretty late to even talk about it, but I'm gonna say I hope everybody had an awesome New Year's. I hope everybody had a fantastic... Uh-oh, hold on one second. I got a little trouble here. It looks... There we go. Okay, good. All right, just making sure camera 2 is working just fine. Oh, man. It has been something else. Man, the holidays were crazy. But Valentine's Day is over. It was last week or so, or actually 2 weeks ago. I know I said I was going to go live last week Sunday. Some things came up, and I forgot to announce those things that came up. But things are good, looking good so far. Over here in the northeast corner of the United States. No, I don't want to say too far into the corner. It is now 3:03 p.m. Yes, I'm a little tad a bit late, but not too bad. We're gonna We're gonna have a 2-hour show here. Yes, 2-hour show. So we'll possibly not even 2 hours. We'll probably do like an hour and a half today, depending how long I'm running. But let's get, you know what? Before we even get to everything, I gotta run the intro, guys. Oh, so sorry about that, guys. Camera 2 went out. I don't know what just happened. Oh, so sorry about that, guys. I don't know what just happened there. It just suddenly just turned off. Very odd. I thought that OBS had fixed this issue, and it seems like they did not. there's been some complaints even on their website about how certain cameras aren't working on OBS. Apparently, there we go. I got it back on now. Let's see if I could get it to work again. It's really odd that it does that. But let's see if I can get it up and running. Alright, let's see. Gotta get her up and running. There's always been some, I don't know why, but there's been some issues with the with OBS Studio. Oh, there we go. Now, I just gotta make sure the... Okay. Audio, yeah, it just shuts off. Second I switched over to audio, it just shuts off. It's so weird. Why is it doing that? It literally just shut off on its own. It's connected to the laptop. I don't know what's going on. We got some technical difficulties. I'm sorry to say, ladies and gents, ladies and germs. Yeah, everything's hooked up. It's weird. Alright, guys, there we go. Yeah. Forgive me. I don't know why that is going on. What is happening? What is happening? It was going so smooth, and now it just does this on purpose. Let's screw up KleinGuy Jon's stream. Let's do it. YouTube is like, let's do it. Let's just destroy it. This guy's nothing. Alright, let's see here. I gotta finish here with this guy. Strange, camera 2 is not working. For some reason, when I switch over to audio, when I try to fix the audio, it seems to shut down on its own. Okay. Here we go. We're gonna try this now and see if it works. And then reactivate. There we go. Okay. Hopefully the audio is good. Alright. I think that should do it. Let me test it out. Alright. Test. Can you hear me, guys? Oh, it works. There we go. Perfect. It's working. I just gotta move the camera a little bit. And here we are. All right. Uh-oh. Perfect. It's working. I just gotta move the camera a little bit. And here we are. All right. Okay, cool, guys. So, camera 2 is working. Back in business. Awesome. So, how's everybody doing today? Gosh, you know, I'm trying to get this to work for some time now. Let's look at the chats here. I see you here, don't hear anymore. I said don't change anything. It's because OBS is a POS. Guess you're going to have to camera 1. Hear you. Okay, good. That's fantastic. Now, oh, I just lost my train of thought. Jeez Louise, this is what happens when you get distracted. I'm trying to fix things that already is fixed, but it just refuses to work. It's just... boggles my mind. It actually, it just drives me nuts. Anyways, we're back. We're back. So, hope everybody's doing great. And this Sunday afternoon, it's 3:10 p.m. Here in the northeast corner of the United States, it's about 40, I think around between 40 to 45 degrees here in New York, in Staten Island, New York. It's been cold, man. It's been cold on and off. Like we had 65-degree weather out here. It was one day last week. Awesome weather. Then we had rain. Then we had snow. Then we had rain and snow, and it's been bipolar throughout the entire few days, or actually almost the entire week. The frames are dropping, so I'm at a 0.5% drop frame, so that's 504. CPU 7.6, so we're good. I don't understand why there's drop frames, but it could be the fact because of camera 2 is trying to get used to the software. So I have it at ultra low latency, so it can actually be real time. So if I am a few seconds late on responding to anyone's chats, that's just the bandwidth. I mean, no matter how high the bandwidth is, I had to learn this from other YouTube creators too. Like, I've been going around asking questions during the time off that I had from the channel, finding out, what's going on, the bandwidth, why is it so slow. It's just bandwidth. It's beyond it. No matter how high your bandwidth is, your high speed internet is, the bandwidth itself is always going to be a few seconds slow. There's no way, as the consumer, who I am, has no control over that. It is what it is. So if the chats come out a little slow, the best I can do is put it at ultra low latency, so it's more real time, and I can interact with you guys. That's the best I can do. I can do nothing about it. So please try not to throw in the comments and say, man, your internet sucks and this and that. Listen, it's not just the service. Any service does it. It doesn't matter if it's Verizon, Spectrum, whatever other internet service providers that's out there in the world. There's always going to be a bandwidth issue. Technology is not all that perfect, so hey, we're using it, right? Okay, so you train of thought derailed. Yes, it did. Thank you. It did for a moment. So, things have been pretty crazy after the holidays as well, but starting to slowly, recuperate here. And things have been doing a little better. I've been doing quite well. Some slow days, some fast days, some progressive days, some bad days. We get them all the time. I know lately, the last time did speak to you guys was uh, before the holidays, before Valentine's Day. I did do a live stream in the service van, and you guys got to got to see me there. And then I did speak about how now I decided to stay in the service department of the company I work for. And the reason for that is because, well, it's just I just wanted to get more variety of different experiences. That's all. Nothing wrong with that. I found that to be that there's always going to be work, whether it's slow or whether there's a lot of where it's busy, slow or busy. There's always going to be some sort of service call that I got to go to. As long as I'm putting in some hours, getting the experience, it's great. A lot of guys, a lot of electricians I've spoken to in the past, and from what I remember, was that they don't like to do service calls. They like to be on the construction sites and do commercial work. That's absolutely fine. Listen, more power to you. Okay, but there are some risks depending how the market is in today's industry, in today's real world. Um, the company you work for is going to be busy. You're going to have more clientele. You're going to have more jobs. You're going to have more bids. You're going to have more, more of everything. But in times like these, which, during current events, as of today, as you all know, what's going on overseas, the Ukrainian-Russian invasion, Russians, invading Ukraine. Yes, it's pretty bad. But from what I'm hearing there, the boys over there holding them down. So prayers to those over in Ukraine and the people there. And how does that affect? Probably wondering, how does that affect the markets here? It actually does. It's affecting the stock markets. It could affect trade. There's a lot of things going on with against Russia that's also affecting other countries as well, believe it or not. But other than that, let's get back to the subject at hand here. Let's see. Devil says, It upload connection nodes, i.e., the internet routing, etc., etc. I saw this stream. I was there. You can't get rid of me. Yeah, man, I appreciate it. Now, you guys, if you haven't noticed, B Dibbles is also he's been on the stream on my live stream, watching for quite some time, and he's finally now the moderator of the chat. So, if you guys don't know what a moderator is, they basically monitor the chat, make sure no one's saying any, no cyberbullying, no false information, no spamming, no other entanglements that go on in the stream, and you'll get timed out. Um, there are rules in live streams. You come on someone's platform, respect the platform, okay? Come in with respect as much as you want to get respect back. You will. Just also be patient if I don't get to anyone or talk about a certain subject that you would like to talk about. Just remember, it's the person's platform. We talk about a subject, we stick with it, we discuss it, and so on. Now, so with that in mind, going back to service, being staying on service, a lot of experience, different issues, different troubleshooting, gaining more experience. I can, I like to interact with the customer, and basically, yeah, you get more customer experience or customer service, really, and you don't have someone hanging over your shoulder, i.e., supervisors and so forth. And the reason is you feel you can do whatever you want, but not really. It's just the way you would proceed on doing the job and how you approach it. Now, the reason why a lot of guys in the industry don't like to do service calls, for one, they have to drive around, especially if it's a major city. You have to drive around, look for parking. That's a big issue. Well, they don't want to get up early as well to go find parking because it makes no sense. They feel like, well, they should get paid for during that time. I'm not arguing that, but what I do know is that getting up a bit early just to go, like for me, for instance, where I live, depending on the region you live, what state, what country you live in, and what city, how close you live to the city, or if you're living within city limits, you should know. For instance, like myself, I live in New York, within the 5 boroughs. I know the times that certain streets in the city, certain areas in the city, are busy, where there is parking available, where what time municipal parking metering starts and stops. Um, certain areas and neighborhoods in like Manhattan or in Brooklyn, there's certain spots where you can get parking early in the morning because people who live in the area, reside in the area, would leave with they drive, they leave with their vehicles, and there's parking space available. Now, the hard part is looking at certain signage, finding out, okay, can I park here if it's Monday? Can I park here on a Monday? Or is it a spot? Is it a side street that says Tuesday to Friday? Can I park here at this time? Certain areas in Manhattan, we can park, or I can park, are like loading and unloading zones. Um, Commercial parking. Now that's another issue here in New York City. Commercial parking is a problem. There is commercial meter parking, but majority of them are taken by outdoor dining, which has become a serious issue for us contractors, service techs, tradesmen, etc. A lot of restaurants are taking up a lot of those 3 hour to 2 hour, 3 hour, 2 hour, 1 hour commercial parking spaces, and it's become very difficult for us to find parking. And that's one of the reasons why most tradesmen don't want to do service calls, especially if it's in New York City. They don't want to deal with the headache. Now, for me, it was pretty tough, but I've learned to adapt. Okay. Most guys want to wake up early in the morning just to find a parking spot for that first service call. I get it. It's a pain. they don't want to wake up, they're too tired, so forth. I say sleep early. You know, get a schedule going. Let's see here. I saw this street. I don't really want to be a mod, but you need one. But the people here are good. There's only one I have had problems with. The host. But also 95% of the chatting, I can't kick myself. That parting info would make phone app. Oh man, well, make a great phone app. That's great, dude. Thanks. But anyways, yeah, that's one of the reasons a lot of guys don't want to be in the service department. Parking is an issue, and it has even become a bigger issue in New York City. But you know, I've been lucky many times. Another thing that's has been lax now is the amount of we call meter maids or traffic cops. Traffic cops, traffic officers who give out tickets, you know, depending on where you park and stuff. Especially with meter parking, I have been lucky multiple times where I forget to feed the meter, come back at the end of the service call, realize, whoa, I forgot to feed the meter, but come back an hour or two later, or like a half hour later, and say, whoa, they didn't get the ticket. Reason for that, COVID has been a big issue on the New York City Police Department for their traffic officers. A lot of them are not at work, so there's less meter maids in the city that I noticed. Before, pre-COVID, there was, I mean, if you were late, 5 minutes late on a parking meter to refeed it, you get a ticket. They're pretty spot on with that. But lately, it's been slow. So there's been less of them. So I've been very lucky. And yeah, you know, this is a time right now, if you're in the service department, especially if you're living in a major city, if you are aware of, you know, there's less meter maids out there giving out tickets, yeah, take advantage of it as much as possible. Just whatever you do, just make sure, you know, if you're risking it, just make sure that it's an area where you know that there are no meter maids walking around. So you get the drift. Another thing, I did a recent video on an install I did here in the apartment, and I will be posting that in a few days. So get ready for that too. What's going on here? Why is it acting so weird? Okay, the frame rate is dropping. That's awesome. Let's see what we have here. I actually want to bring up something here, if I may. And let's see if I could pop it up on the screen. Good gracious. Goodness gracious. This is not what I want. Oh, there we go. So I haven't been really keeping up with tools lately. I've been busy doing some estimates on the service calls. Well, at service call / estimates. It's been pretty hectic. Trying to get as much OT as possible, but haven't been getting any. Let's see here. What do we got? Can I shop? Shop by brand. Goodness gracious. What is wrong with these people? Anyway. Let's see if I can pop this up. Right. So, for all you... Let's change the subject matter here since we're done with that. Now, if you are new to the channel, and if you are a apprentice trying to work your way up, always be aware of the unawareable. Okay. Readable says, parking info would make a great app. Parking attendants, most meters in London have a grace period after the time runs out. Well, they used to, I can't say right now, but parking tickets are just an extra tax under another name. True. But that's another thing I want to actually. That's a good thing you brought that up, Dibs. Is that even though if I do get a parking ticket under a company van, company vehicle, on company time, sure, there's like about maybe one or two warnings. After the third warning, third strike, you start paying for those parking tickets. Okay, but when it comes to meter parking, yes, if we get a ticket, if we get multiple tickets on a meter parking, we have to pay out of our pockets, of our check or out of our pockets, whichever the case. Um, there are certain areas in Manhattan or anywhere in New York, or within five boroughs. For instance, loading and or loading only or unloading only um, parking areas we can park in. Um, if we get a ticket, we're on a program with the city. We get a percentage off the tickets, and the company pays for it. So they pay at least at a $25 um, price. So if we got like a $65 or $63 loading or unloading parking after 30 minutes, the of course the company gets a copy of it via email or via by mail, and they just have to they get a percentage off, and they pay like I think around $25 to $30 fee, and which is not all that bad, because we know the city knows that when it comes to other contractors, it's very difficult to find parking to do our job. We have so many contractors here in New York City. It's just ridiculous. And there's nothing we can do about that. It just happens. Uh, so everybody wants to make money, especially the city. But the city is trying to give contractors a break on that. You know, because it's too much. It's way too much of a load, financial load on their end, and plus the city would still make money, just not in the amount as they were originally would make if they didn't have this type of program. Let's see here. Why is it red? So weird. All right. But our destination. Unloading only, so you can take your tools out, but you can't put them back. Well, unloading is for a loading parking area is for like certain areas in the city, like grocery stores, um small business like groceries or merchandising. There's spots, or in hotels. There are certain spots hotels have a loading and unloading zone where it will just say loading only, and then one or an un loading only or unloading only, and we're allowed, basically commercial vehicles allowed to park there. um now and during this time, we don't get tickets at all. Even if there's a meter maid in the area that patrols the area, they don't even bother. um because the second they see a commercial vehicle like a contractor or um a shipping merchandise truck, they'll just, like, whatever, they'll just walk by. If they see like a vehicle that does not have commercial plates, that's a different story. They'll write up a ticket. Another thing that really irks me, um, if you guys service guys have ever, you know, in your city, especially in New York City, is that when we have 3 hour parking, commercial 3 hour commercial parking, um, what basically we pay 3 hours or less. The thing I hate the most is, and I gotta tell you, if you're watching, if any residents in Manhattan or anywhere in New York City are watching this, if your vehicle is not a license, it's not a commercial vehicle, meaning if you do not have commercial plates on your vehicle, do not park in a 3 hour commercial parking. Okay, do not, absolutely do not, please. I've seen too many cab drivers, TL and C plates, limousine commission. You're not, you don't really have commercial plates. You're not really commercial. Yeah, you can be considered a commercial vehicle, whatever, but you're a passenger only. You're not delivering. You're not a tradesman. You're just driving, picking up, and dropping off people. Do not park there. They do have designated spots for taxi cab drivers or limousine drivers to park so they can rest, or if they could, they could take their lunch breaks, whatever. But do not park in a 3-hour commercial parking spot. It's annoying as hell because we need those spots to park and do our jobs. I got into an argument with one, and he just swore up and down, "Oh, he's considered commercial." It took a meter maid to come over and tell him. And it took like about a half hour, almost an hour, for me to wait for a meter maid around the area to actually bring him over and say, "Hey, tell this guy he can't park here." He looked at the sign, looked at his plate. He says, "You got to move." And he was in shock. And I told him, "Dude, you're not a commercial vehicle. Your license, TLC license plate, it doesn't say commercial on it. You gotta get out of the spot." I swear to you, there's certain areas even in Brooklyn that just no parking. And if you're a commercial, if you are a cab driver in New York City, please don't do this. It irks the hell out of us. It drives us up the wall. We need those spots. We have business of our own to do. Tradesmen, you gotta show us tradesmen's respect. I was really courteous to this guy. I looked at him and said, "Hey, buddy, listen, I kind of need this spot. I don't mean to pry and get you on the move, but I kind of need to park here. I got a job right here to do, and I'm circling around. I don't want to waste time. I got to get this job done." The cab driver just looked at me like I was stupid. Like, he was very snarky and very rude to me. So I got rude, a little bit rude back to him, and was trying to be courteous, and he didn't want to be courteous back. So but that's what happens when you become very stubborn because you feel that you're right in the position you're in. Usually you're not. So be very careful, cab drivers. Any cab drivers watching this as well, or if you know of a cab driver, let them know. Don't park in a 3-hour commercial parking spot. It is what it is. Taxis think they can park anywhere. Oh yeah, they do. Cab drivers think they can park anywhere. They really do, and it really upsets me. I actually got cut off by some guy. I don't think he was a cab driver, but the thing I hated the most was when people just stop at a green light and they're on their phone, and I could literally see through their rearview mirror or their side view mirror that they're looking down. And I'm like honking. They're looking at me and they're waving at me saying, "Yeah, hold on." I'm like, "Dude, it's a green light. Stop burning the green light." You know. Then when I like honk once or twice, and I'm not rude. I just like courtesy honk, and they're just looking at me. They'll just look up, look at the mirror, just look directly at me, and then they'll just look down again. I'm like, "Are you serious?" So I give a little beep beep, courtesy honk, and the guy just yelled. He says, "Wait!" I'm like, "Dude, it's green light." So when the green light goes, he goes off. And he stops like in the middle of the street, just one block over from the pedestrian crosswalk. And then I'm like, "What is he doing? What is he doing?" So he's looking at the mirror, and then he starts, cursing me out. I'm like, "Dude, what are you doing?" And he tells me, "Oh, you don't like it when I do." I'm like, "No, you're on your phone. Get off your phone. Keep going. What are you doing?" It's people like arrogant people like that, very arrogant enough to do something like that, and they don't realize that they're doing absolutely the wrong thing. They're not making sense of doing it either. So, technically they can park. Yeah, I read that part already. So, anyways, just be careful, cab drivers. We're not trying to be rude when we do a little courtesy honk, or we just drive up next to you and say, "Hey, can I park here? I really need to park here. It's a commercial park." Don't be rude. Just be courteous. Be respectful. There's other places. Heck, if you wanted to, you could double park. Just make sure you're leaving enough space, adequate space for other vehicles to pass by. I do it sometimes if I'm like on a lunch break. I'll double park if I can't park and eat my lunch. I'll just double park, put my haz lights on, go about my lunch. And if someone needs to get out, I'd be nice enough to, hey, let me pull forward so they can get out. It's just common courtesy. It's just being polite about things. It doesn't hurt. All right. So. What do we got here? I'm on CPO outlets, but I'm seeing a lot of good reconditioned tools. Just randomly going through stuff. So, other news. Let's get to about tools now. Let's talk about tools, right? Because I've noticed on some channels like Belts and Boxes, VCG Construction's done it. They did videos on the Milwaukee M18 lawnmower that it's finally being released. And I gotta say, I'm quite impressed about the M18. Now, the M18, I believe it requires two M18 batteries to power up this lawnmower, and they're saying that it has better horsepower or better cutting performance. But let's see here, and also, they've also come up with the M18 wet dry vacs. 6 to 9 and a 12-gallon wet dry vacuum. So let me pull it up actually for you guys to see here. And here it is. The M18 Fuel 6, 9, and 12-gallon wet dry vacuums. All right, look at that. Very nice, right? Brand new. I mean, it's about time they came up with them. I mean, they really did I mean, if they were going to do 12 volt and 18 volt, 6.5 to 2.5 gallon vacuums, they might as well step it up to 18 volt, which makes more practical sense. I mean, you got Rigid that created their 18 volt wet dry cordless vacuum. I think not too far behind would be Ryobi and Bosch. And then DeWalt has, I believe they have their own too as well. I mean, you gotta admit, it's pretty cool. Let's see now. Do these? Oh, whoa! They come in different sizes. Look at that, and their own little rolling platform. That's pretty dope. You can pack your accessories. That's pretty cool. Let's watch the video. 6-gallon wet dry vacuum. Let's see what we got here. Huh. Nice. Hmm. Nice. Very nice. Locks the wheels. Hmm. Nice. Handle. That's pretty good. Pretty awesome. I mean, look how far they've gone. They got the 12 volt, they got the 18 volt, and the pack out vacuum. Now the pack out vacuum is actually been very. I purchased this vacuum, and I gotta say, you guys. Now I know VCG Construction did a whole demo on the 18 versus the original 18 volt brushless vacuum. And you see the one that was a non pack out. I think it was the 12. I think it was the 12 or no, it was the 18. I believe it was the 18, and they did a comparison video on it, the performance comparison video, and the brushless M18 non-pack out vacuum outperformed the pack out brushless M18 vacuum. Now, I'm not saying which one's better. Yes, out of performance, one was better than the other. Um, it doesn't mean I'm just gonna be like, well, you know, I'm just gonna get the regular M18 vacuum. No, I purchased this because it goes with my pack out system. I could wheel it around. It's portable. It's light. Um, it has a storage, compartment for the accessories, much like the M18, the first M18 brushless fuel vacuum shop vac. This also it still gets the job done. I mean, there's those of you who, there's some people out there like, well, this one's better than that one. I really don't care. It just gets the job done. I got it because I wanted to match, get it to basically stack up with my other tools, and I can just, stroll it around, be very portable with it, and not have to go back and forth to the van. Now, if any of you out there watching this, and some of the people who are closer to me that know me or work with me know that I bring my pack out with me on the job. Why? Why would you stack up all your organizers, your toolboxes, the vacuum, and the cart, the crate, the pack out crate? Why would you need all that for a service call? Well, believe it or not, I just get tired of going back and forth to the van. I think I mentioned this before in previous videos where now the pack out has become something that's very reliable to me, and adding this to my collection, to the pack out system, it's so much easier to bring around. Usually I would, like, maybe some of you are thinking, especially you apprentices out there, thinking, well, if you're lugging around, let's see here. I mean, you're lugging around all this stuff. You're lugging around the box, the rolling toolbox, the organizers, all these toolboxes you're rolling around. How do you know what to take with you? Well, when you arrive to a job, especially a guy like myself who works in the service department, a guy who, like myself, was a service tech, I would usually go to the customer's home first thing, find parking, park the vehicle, walk into the customer's home. Even if the service work order ticket says, it could say troubleshoot a light or install 2 ceiling fans. Well, I want to assess the situation first before I start unloading my van with all my tools. And here's the thing that confuses also, when it comes to customers, homeowners, renters, especially homeowners. For instance, people who own an apartment, maybe a condo, especially in New York City, the rich and wealthy. I've worked in with wealthy people's apartments and condos, and a lot of times I get the question like, "Hey, where are your tools?" Well, I always have to explain to them like, "Well, what I do is I like to assess the situation. I go in, I see what you need to get done, I see what's needed. I write everything in my head. I make a little list and say, okay, all right, this is what I'm gonna need. I walk around, look around. This is what I'm gonna need. I'm gonna go back to my truck and get it. I explained to the customer why. I remember a few months ago, I had I mentioned in the stream that I had a customer who had multiple outlets that were out. She didn't give me she didn't give a real count of how many outlets, what type of outlets they were. It could be the GFI, it could have been a Decor 15 or 20. So I said, you know what? Let me go up there and assess it. I went up there, and the first thing she noticed was I didn't have hand tools, and just a service ticket and a notepad. And she just went crazy. She went ballistic. Like, oh, you came up here and you got no tools. I said, ma'am, I'm here to just assess the situation, see what you need, and I'm gonna run back down, get what I need, come up, boom, get it done. No problem. She had a major problem with that. And you know, it's because of the fact that I showed up. She felt that I'm wasting time, and you know, by me wasting time, it's more money out of her pocket. This is how most tradesmen are. Now, there are some tradesmen, I'm not gonna knock you for it. You guys show up with a little tool bag, look around, start getting to work. But then you realize, well, I kind of need this. Now I got to run back down or go down 2 blocks to the van and grab what I need there now. And no matter what, sometimes you get these customers that are really hard to please, and they get so upset with you because you need to go back to your van. It's ridiculous. I know it sounds ridiculous, sounds really dumb and silly, but there are customers, there are people who are like that. And they feel that if you go leave their property to go get something from the service van, they feel entitled that they shouldn't pay for the amount of time it'll take you to go downstairs, run your van, and then come back. I've had customers say that to me, and boy, did that sound ridiculous. I don't know where they get that mindset from, but you know, it's why you have to kind of explain to them how things work in a service when it comes down to business. Someone does a service for you, no matter if they run out, have to get something from a supply house for you because they don't have it in the van, you need it now, you are still being billed billable time from the point where the tech leaves your home and says, I'll be right back. I have to get this for you in order for me to install this light or install this equipment. They'll have that's still billable time. He's still working on the clock. There's no pause. Okay? There's some cases where tradesmen techs like myself, electrician like myself, will come across a situation where, okay, I didn't expect this because obviously there was no estimate or anything involved beforehand. It's a service call. It's like right away. It's a prompt service call. I explained to the customer, okay, this is what you're gonna need to have this light fixture or the ceiling fan hanged. I need a ceiling fixture box rated at 80 pounds or more to support this ceiling fan. I need to run to a hardware store or a big box store to get it. They right away believe that, in their minds they're saying, well, once he leaves, I hope he better not bill me because he's not actually physically here. Now he has left to get what he needs for this job and come back. So between that time, I'm not being billed. They really think this, and it's blows my mind. It's like, listen, it's still being billed. It's a service. And it's like that self-entitlement that I really don't like. I'm sorry if I'm saying it this way, and there's probably going to be some people who are going to write in the comment section and say, well, that's rude, and it's not that we're self-entitled. No, it's that notion of self-entitlement that you think you shouldn't pay when in reality you are paying that service. Even if we're not there, we have to run and come back. We're still working on the clock. You're still being billed. It is what it is. Let's go to the comment section. B-Dibble's the only one here, my man. Yeah, I appreciate the support. In a toolkit, you take the most used tools first. You don't take a tool that you use one out of 10 times. I'm having a lot of trouble with tradesmen. It's like they don't need to work. Lack of contact is a real problem. Correct. That's another issue there. Now, when it comes down to it, since I've had this issue with customers where they don't want to be billed when I step out to go pick up something I need for the job to get done and come back. They don't want to be billed for that time between those times. So what I do is I explain to them, okay, here, listen, the moment a tech walks through your door is the moment we start billing. Okay, it is what it is. It's how it's done. It's called service. You're paying for a service. We come in, we assess the situation, we get to work. If there's something that we need to get the job done that's necessary, we don't have in stock, we need to go and pick it up elsewhere and come back. During that time, you are still being billed. There's no negotiation on it. You're still being billed for that time. He's still working to get that material or equipment to come back and install it for you. There's no stopwatch. We have a software, we start the assignment, clock is ticking. We go rush as fast as we can to the big box store supply house to get what we need for you, and we try to come as fast as we can to get it done, to get it installed. There's no negotiation around that part. It's part of the service, part of the service contract. This is why you really need to read people, and I'm addressing those people who are homeowners and shareholders of a home or whatever. City people, okay, people who live in the city. You need to understand, if you're calling for a service, read the terms and conditions of that service call. Okay, do not ignore it, because we do bill you no matter what. We are billing you for leaving your home to go pick up the equipment or material, coming back, and continuing the job until it's finished. You are still being billed. There's no negotiation around it. Okay? So I want to clear that up. All right. So that is something, because a lot of people don't really want to read the terms and conditions. They just want the service to get done right away, and that's it. But when they start seeing the bill, it's like, well, you left my house and you went to go this. Why am I being billed this much money? Well, that's still a service you're paying for. I don't make the rules. I just work under those rules. Okay. So yeah, that's how it goes. So I hope that clarifies things. What else? So, anyways, going back to the pack out. Yes, what I normally do is I assess situation. I tell the customer, well, I want to take a look and see what you need and get what I need to get from the van to get it done. And then I explain to them how I proceed on doing the work. They say okay. And once I get an agreement on it, I go ahead, proceed, go get what I need, bring it back, get to work right away. And then that's it. But I've had two instances where we had customers complain about the fact that I went to the van to get like an outlet, then came back, and it only took me like 2 minutes. Come back, and they complain, well, I don't want to be billed for these 2 minutes. Like, really? Really? But anyway, Dip says, who could always say, if you don't want to pay for the time to get the parts, we can end the call now and we can come back another day. However, there will be another call out charge. That is correct. Another thing with that, you bring that a good point, because there's sometimes there's days where we may not be able to get the equipment or material the same day. So what we would do is we say, okay, look, we're going to bill you for today's call, and then tomorrow we'll come back, we'll order the parts, we'll come back on another later date. As soon as the parts are delivered, we'll come back and then install and finish the job. And we're also going to have to bill you for that day, that second visit. That's how it works. Again, I'm gonna repeat this again for you homeowners, potential clients, customers. Understand, if you are having an electrician, a plumber, an HVAC tech, a carpenter, a handyman, if he doesn't have a certain equipment or material to get the job done, and he needs to order something, order a special material or equipment, you need to understand the time, the billable time that he's there. You will be billed for that time. Once he receives the material order or equipment order and it comes back on the second visit, you are being billed for that second visit, not for the first visit. This is something that a lot of customers don't get. Why? The question goes out and says, why are you billing me for the second visit? Because it's a second visit. We have to. It's a service. It's stated in the service contract that you agreed upon. And you know, a lot of customers try to fight that. Read what you sign. Talk to the service rep or the service department manager or associate and ask them, what are the terms, what are the conditions of the service call? How is the billing process? How do you bill? Do you bill hourly? Or if there's something that is needed and we order it, do you guys order it? Or can we order it and have it, or can I purchase the item like a ceiling fan or a light fixture, have it sent to my home and call you guys back to install it? You know, there are, I would say rules, but there are kind of rules and regulations. It's a process. You know, this is the order of things. You need to start asking these questions and understand that if you do have the tech come back for the second call, understand that you're going to be billed for that second visit. Okay? You know, this is why you need to ask questions. You know, ask, hey, what if I don't have it? And, you know, how do we go about that? Do I get to order it? Would it be cheaper for me to order it and you just do the labor? Or do you guys order it and then charge me for that item and the labor? I normally would tell a customer in that situation, it's easy for them to order the item, okay, and just have us come and install it, and you just pay the labor. It's cheaper that way. But if they can afford it and they want it done quickly, they don't want to really, you know, have it ordered to their house or anything like that. They want us to pay it. What happens is if you ask the contractor, hey, can you order it? And if you do, how much would it cost to get it installed? And how much would that be billed up to? Well, process says, okay, if we order the item, we have to charge you for that item plus the labor. If you don't want to be charged for the item, you can order the item yourself, have it delivered to your home or property, and we'll have a technician come in and install it, and you just pay for the labor. I always look at it as that being the cheapest way. All right. But when it comes to going back to the service van, if we need to get something just to get the job done, and it only takes like about a minute to like 5 minutes, whatever, depending on where we park or whatever, it happens. You're still being billed no matter what. There's no way of working around it. Who could always say if you don't want to pay the time you get, you know what I'm saying? However, there will be another call-out charge. There are two systems I know about. There is the hourly rate and the contract payment, i.e., the job will cost 2,000 pounds. Is that pounds? Yeah, 2,000 pounds, and if it takes 2 days or 3 days, it's still 2,000. True, because you have to have a cover charge on that. You're covering all the charges of how much the labor costs. Usually that's like a set price. We usually do a contract set price. If it does take that long, yeah, they give a set price. We don't charge them anything extra unless we have to come back an additional day. We have to charge and do a change order, charge her for the extra day. All right. But let's go back to that. Now, that's one of the reasons why now to avoid like that type of confrontation, I take my whole entire I assess the situation, I go, come back, have what I need. And if it's something I come across where, goodness gracious, I'm getting a lot of notifications here. If I come across an issue where it requires me to have a special item to be ordered to get the job done, we'll have to come back in another day. So be it. It all depends on how the customer wants to handle that part of the job. If he or she wants it done that way or not. But yep, that's it. All right. Now, a lot. I think I had maybe one or two people leave comments on one of my previously much older videos about my pack out, and some of the comments said that why don't you go get the new rolling pack out box, the rolling storage. And I'll show you guys right now. The rolling storage. If those of you who don't know what is the pack out rolling storage. Oh, good gracious me. Everybody's going online all of a sudden. This is it. This is the rolling tool chest from Milwaukee. Okay. Pretty big and spacious. They're selling it at Home Depot where I'm at. Multiple Home Depots are selling it. I think it's awesome. I mean, look, you can stack up the other pack outs and your organizers and so forth, and just roll it all at once like that. I mean, it's pretty. I mean, it's pretty smart to have something like this. My main issue with it is I feel it's just mainly for construction sites, or if you're doing like side work and you're doing a big side work job. Yeah, roll that baby in. Now for service calls. Not really. I mean, I have a lot of tools, but I don't have the means of using this. It's great because it has a double stack where you can stack up multiple pack outs, but I feel like it's gonna just put in more weight. I have enough weight on my rolling toolbox as it is. I have to actually reduce the amount of tools I bring with me now to make it easier for me to roll it out. It gets very heavy over time. I mean, I ain't gonna lie. It's a good toolbox. It's really convenient. It looks very convenient. Easy to transport. My only problem with this box now, this right here. This is basically what I have. I mean, I don't have the drawers as of right now. I'm dying to get these pack out drawers. But this is basically what I have, the rolling toolbox. Okay. That's good enough for a service tech like me, like myself, to, stroll around in. The only issue I have with this is this right here. Now, as you can see, when you slide in the pack outs, they're facing, the back here will be facing outward while you have the other organizers and toolboxes facing this way, where it's easier to open the toolboxes and get access. While if there's some boxes in the back, it's a little difficult. There's so little space to kind of like open the box up and see what's going on. I would prefer, and they should have made it this way, have this bottom reverse facing outward this way. So that way it's just, you can go around, get better access to your boxes. It's common sense, really. I'm not knocking that it's not, this is a bad, a terrible toolbox. It's not. It's very well built, very convenient for you guys who are in contract jobs. But I would have preferred this area to be flipped around. This part of the stacking of cleat, the feet or the cleat section, to be flipped around, so that way it's better access to open your boxes. Instead of having them all facing one direction. It just makes sense to me. It just makes sense that way. All right. But I hope they can remedy that. Maybe they'll, Milwaukee, if you guys are watching this, I mean, look, look how, this is what I'm talking about. You stack them this way, you got full access, right? But if you want to access the ones in the back, it's like, look, the latch is right there. You gotta have to kind of squeeze your hand around and open it. That's a pain. Like They should have thought of flipping it the other way, so that way it's just easier access, man. It's common sense, really. So I feel Milwaukee did a little. They made a little boo boo there. All right. Now, like I said, I'm not knocking that it's a bad. You know, it's. I'm not saying it's a terrible idea. It's a brilliant idea. I feel that the mistake was right here. This is the mistake they did, right here. Okay, flip it, Milwaukee. You got an opportunity right now. If you're listening, flip this side. Flip the molding to the opposite direction. It just makes more sense, honestly. But if it doesn't, let us know. Let us know why you decided to go with this concept, that idea of having all the boxes face one direction. Let us know why, and maybe I can understand it. Understand you guys better why you did it. But other than that, it's a tough freaking chest, man. I got a chance to go to Home Depot and like kind of test it out, stack some boxes on it, roll it around. It's like, dude, this thing's heavy duty. This thing is awesome. Yo, New Jersey Workshop, what's going on, bro? Dude, I haven't seen you in a minute, man. Was it Matt Mortelli? Dude, what's going on? New Jersey Workshop. I'm no longer the one here. He says, me again, Dave. In order to mold it differently, the cost would be much, much higher versus having the molding facing the same direction. Yeah, but they should have thought of that a while back before they decided to sell it, man. I mean, did they not catch that? I mean, that's the one thing if I was the one of the production designers, I would have pointed that out and say, you know what? This might be difficult to fit your hand in there to unlatch it, because then you got to take these out just to get to the back ones, or take these, put it on the floor, and then access. It's a bit of a hassle. If you have it, the back ones flipped the other way, it's just easy access. Think about it. Think how convenient that would be, because you don't have to take everything out. You just walk around, open it, boom, done. That's my opinion. And, everybody's entitled to their opinion. That's my opinion on it. But let's move on. Let's see what else is. Oh man, look at this. See, this is one of the reasons, dude. I saw this at Home Depot. I kid you not. Let me see if I can click on it. The pack out drawers, the 3 drawer piece right here. I saw it at the and if there's any of you who are watching this live here in Staten Island. The last time I went, I think it was 2 days ago, not 2 days ago, it was on a Thursday. I believe it was Thursday evening after work. I went to pick up some material. I said, let me go check out the pack outs here. I kid you not, there was 2 pack out, 3 drawer pack outs. First time I've ever seen them in Home Depot. The Home Depots I've been going to, like the ones in Brooklyn, the Hamilton Avenue store in Brooklyn, and the one here on Targhee Street in Staten Island, they never had the 3 drawer pack out. Targhee Street Home Depot had the 3 drawer pack outs. 2 of them left. Believe me when I say how I was this close to wanting to buy it. I couldn't bring myself to do it. As much as I wanted it, I couldn't bring myself to buy it. And I figured, you know what? It's like, I don't know. I kind of need more info. I just need, like, I don't know. I haven't been checking out the reviews. I saw a couple, but not as much. When it comes to tools or organizers stuff, I need to look at every review as possible to get 100% like confirmation in my mind. Say, okay, choices are: is it worth getting, or am I okay with what I have? Okay, what are the pros? What are the cons? I haven't really researched it as much as I did with the previous pack outs I've purchased, so I have to get on top of that. But if any of you out there have the 3 drawer or the 2 drawer, let me know. Leave it in the comment section down below. I want to know your input on it. Oh, wait, let's go back. No, thank you. All right. So man, I have like maybe almost all of them. What I don't have is the dolly, the two-wheel cart. I've heard some good things. I've heard some bad things about the two-wheel cart. Okay, one of the bad things about this cart, and I've seen this in multiple live, like multiple streams, or I'm not multiple streams. I'm gonna say multiple YouTube creators who are contractors mostly, and they reviewed this cart, is that the wheels are inside the cart, or the are inside, not outside. There was a YouTube creator that decided that he wanted to put the wheels outside because when he hit certain depths of like steps or certain bumps, the with all his pack stacked, the cart would tip over very easily. Okay, so what he did, he installed a longer axle rod to stick out. And the wheels stick out here, and he found out that by doing that, caused less tip over. It would balance it much better than it would have if the wheels were inside. Now I can understand why they did this. And the reason for this is because they wanted the cart to fit in tight spaces and like doorways and such, like tight doorways. Completely understandable. I'm going to show you right now. Whoops, I forgot the transition. Right here. So the wheels, as you can see in the two-wheel cart, they're inside. This individual, I never got his name. I just kind of like watched the video real quickly, and what he did. He took the existing axle rod, right, and extended it. He bought a longer one and fabricated it and installed it and had the wheels outside, right here on the outside perimeter of the two-wheel cart. And like I said, when the wheels were inside and he would hit certain bumps, it would easily tip over. When he had it outside, when the wheels were outside, when he installed them outside, that effect stopped. It never happened. It would never happen. It would be equally balanced. It would be much more durable. But I can understand, like I said previously, why they did it in the inside, because they want the cart to fit through doorways. Because if you have the wheels outside, it defeats that purpose, to fit into narrow doorways or narrow spaces. So there are pros and cons, and that's one of the pros. If you have the wheels outside, you get less of a tip over. If you have it inside, you could fit through doorways and not. But the con of it will be, if you hit certain bumps, you'll have it tip over easily. If you have it outside, you don't. But if you have the wheels outside, the con of that is fitting through spaces and doorways. So yeah, there's a mixture of both. That's why I say, man, it's always good if you see a new product come out. You gotta know the pros and cons. You gotta do your research. You don't want to spend money on something and then realize, oh, why did I get it? Why? I'm having these problems now, I mean, it's really nice. Look at that. It folds up, easy to store, and it carries even a water heater. That's pretty cool. Not bad. You see what I mean? Look, see now if the door, I mean, this doorway is pretty wide, but let's say if this doorway was much narrower, and if the wheels were out, it would never fit. But since the wheels are more inside, you can fit through doors. Same as goes for the pack out rolling toolbox, and I love that they incorporated the wheels to be internal, so that way it could fit through doorways and narrow spaces, which is freaking, and it's sturdy. It's still sturdy in my opinion. I get with the pack out toolbox, the rolling toolbox, I get less of a tip over. So I mean, that was the idea. I guess they were trying to implement that with the two-wheel cart. You're right. As far as convenience, oh wait, I'm sorry. In order to, Megan Dave says, you're right as far as convenience, but as the old saying goes, want convenience? Pay for it and pay big or don't. Honestly, look, I'm going to say something right now. If they decide on redoing that for convenience purposes, but they charge a little bit more, maybe a couple dollars more, I'd buy it. Why not? I want convenience. I'll pay big money for it. Why not? Why not? Mika says Vince of VCG doesn't like the cart. That's saying something. The stats say 20-inch width. How wide are standard doors? Standard doors are about 32 inches. I would believe doorways are about, standard doors and doorways are about 32 inches or more. Now, there are some instances where you can come across sliding doors, and they sometimes could open so much. They can open less than, sometimes they'll open less than 20 inches. Or if you're trying to fit through a narrow space and it's exactly 20 inches, you can fit your cart or the toolbox right through. But if you have wheels sticking out of it, that defeats the purpose of the cart strolling it through. All right. So, yeah, there are instances where you can come across a very narrow space or walkway. So I would say, the wide of standard about 32 inches. I would say I've come across 32-inch wide doors. Some I come across I think 28. I think the minimum I've come across I would say 28 inches was the minimum I've come across. But that's very rare. I don't come across a lot of 20-inch wide doorways. The typical standard is 32 inches or more, 34, sometimes 37. Depends on the demand of it, the demand of the door being installed, depending on the facility and what they're going to be used for. So yeah, let's see here. Now let's move on, because I kind of want to give you guys my input on a few of these pack outs. As you can see, they've got the deep pack out organizer, or the deep organizer, the Class B Type 3 pack out first aid kit, Type 3 pack out first aid kit, which is the pack out compact organizer, the drawer sets. I mean, those things are awesome. They look so awesome. I mean, geez. Let's see what else. You got the lights. Now, the ones I purchased, of course, the pack out 2.5 gallon wet dry vacuum. I gotta say, you guys, let's click on it for a second. This right here, if you are a service tech and if you have a pack out, invest in this. Okay, it may not be as strong as a Rigid or a Bosch or the typical Milwaukee plug-in they do have the old Milwaukee vacuums that were direct plug-in. The old school ones, they're not as good as those. But if you're a service guy and you're doing service calls, you could make a mess here and there. If you have that on your pack out with you, the better you are in servicing your customer and keeping things clean. I take it with me almost all the time when I'm doing a service call. If I know I'm gonna get dirty, whatever, I'll even take it with me just for the heck of it, just to say, okay, take it with just in case. I don't have to run to the van, waste time grabbing it and coming back with it. It's very convenient on your pack out. I have to say it's quite, for a little guy like this, it's quite powerful, but not as powerful as like an 18 volt the new 18 volt 9 6, 9 and 12 gallon ones, but it's good enough, just to pick up like light debris and things that you work on, like ceiling. If you're working a ceiling tile grid, you get some of that insulation on the floor, or if you're making cutouts through drywall, perfect for that. Perfect. You make a little mess, you clean it up, you're out the door. I gotta say, it's worth it. I use it all the time. It's worth it. Pretty convenient. Now, it does come with one free filter. The filters themselves are, I think it was like 24. They did like 24.95 each. But if you're lucky, if you go to the nearest Home Depot or big box store, if they're having a sale, I think they're still having it right now, Home Depot. You can get two for $24.95, because they're normally $24.95 for each filter, but you can get two for the price of one, which is pretty cool. And I jumped at it real quick on that. So, and they're HEPA filters too, which are great. All right, look at that. You could easily store it in your van. Look, you could even have it on your pack and drawer, and you can just vacuum, And look at this. He's using a sander. I don't think I can click on it, right? It looks like he's using a sander right there. The palm, the orbital sander. You can have the vacuum attachment to it. And I gotta say that the hose is, believe it or not, this hose is pretty long if you stretch it out. You could stretch out this hose. It's got a pretty good length. It's really good. This is my opinion on it, but my experience of this vacuum, very, very convenient to have. Very easy to have. It's not that bad. If you hear bad things about it, I mean, whatever. But try it for yourself. You'll see what I'm talking about. I wouldn't recommend using this on like bigger jobs. It's only for like service techs, small jobs, small to medium jobs. Large to heavy duty work, not really. If you're doing maybe some cutting, wood cutting, if you got a table saw or table miter saw, it's perfect for that. If you got, if you're using it to, with the cutoff tool, perfect for that too. I've used it to cut through terracotta and plaster. Awesome. I would recommend not to use a 3.0 to 5.0 amp hour battery. It does drain the battery quite quick, I would say. So you're only going to probably get about, if you run it consistently, you're probably going to get at least about between 10 to 25 minute runtime. That's just about it. It drains the battery. The motor drains the battery very quickly. So my advice, get the higher output batteries, like the 6.0, 8.0, or 12.0 fits in it as well. Yeah, 12.0 fits in there as well because I have a 12.0. I would recommend the 12.0 if you're going to use it every day. Yeah, 12.0, it takes about... I haven't really done a long running test on it. Maybe I should, but I would guesstimate about maybe probably 2.5 hours of runtime on the 12.0 battery. Maybe. Don't know. I've fitted the 12.0 in that pack out vacuum. It fits pretty well. I probably used it for maybe a good few minutes. And it was still on a full charge. If you have it on high, remember it has a low and high speed on the vacuum. So if you want low suction to conserve battery, I would put it on the 1 speed, and it still does. It still has a high output suction. So in high speed it doubles that, but on the single speed it does pretty well. I'm not gonna say it's crap. It does pretty well. It gets the job done. All right. So let's move on. Let's move on, guys. So yes, I have this. I recommend for service techs, if you are in the pack out system, get it. It's not too bad. And if you have a 12 volt, that's fine too. Get the 12 volt. Why not? You're doing it's for smaller jobs, small and medium jobs. So get yourself something portable and light. Let's go to the conversation here. What's going on in the convo? In the chat. Which makes the average in-home door frame 29 inches wide? True. Devil says, I need a new door for the bathroom. I hate cutting in hinges. Ugh. Dude, I remember the last time I had to do that. It's such a workout. I don't know how you carpenters do it, man. But you know what? I'm willing to learn some carpentry myself because it's always good. Even if you, I feel if you're gonna be a tradesman and you're gonna be a master of like one trade, I wouldn't say try to be a master of all. Just at least try to learn some of the basics of other trades, so you can kind of get the idea of the experience of those other trades. Get a taste of it, just to understand the extent of the jobs that involved in in different trades. Uh, you know, I know there's some of you out there who just says, I'll stick to my trade. I don't want to bother with this. I'd rather call a plumber or a carpenter to do it for me. I'd say, you know what? For me as a tradesman, I'd love to work with other trades. I like to watch them work because it gives me a higher or a better understanding of how they get the job done and what's the process of it. And that way, because when you're doing work in someone's home, if you have that experience of coming across like a plumber or HVAC tech or a carpenter or a welder or a framer or a drywall, they go through steps of taking on the job. And you can actually learn and ask questions because they're there. They could tell you this. So when you go out to service calls or side work and you're just doing an electrical job or a carpentry job, let's say you're a carpenter. You put in a door frame, and suddenly the customer says, "Hey, can you do a little bit of electrical work?" And he says, "Well, I don't. Carpenters, we won't recommend doing electrical work. Not a lot of carpenters want to do electrical work, but if they do, they can actually if they've seen how electrician does work, how the framers set up, framing the wall. Electrician comes in, roughs in their boxes. If they visually see that." And they get an idea of how that happens, they'll say, "Hey, well, you know what? You're gonna have to have an electrician come in and run the wire, and maybe if maybe you can help out the electrician in the future by marking where the customer wants the outlet, marking where they can make a hole through some joist or through some of the tracks of your the metal tracks or whatever, or the rafters, or where they can drill a hole where it's safe to run wire." I've worked with carpenters that did that for me, and they were awesome carpenters, and they knew their stuff. And they would literally say, "Well, hey, I marked where the customer wants the outlet, and I marked where you can run the wires and this and that, and I found a panel for you, and there you go." They can help you out if you can work with other trades, or at least give them a heads up. You know what I'm saying? It will blow your mind of how much there's so much care on a job site or in someone's home and property, that you're going to look at the tradesman and say, "Yo, man, I appreciate that. I appreciate other trades who do that for me." Because once I show up to the job and I'm like, "Okay, how am I going to run this out?" I'm like, "This is my first time being here. Okay, what do I have to do?" The carpenter's then says, "Hey, man, let me help you out. I marked this and this for you. There's nothing up there. There's complete access. You could..." Dude, if you can get another tradesman to like recon it for you, and they come up and tell you that, and they're generous, and I've come across multiple carpenters who've done that, and I gotta tell you, they're great guys, man. They're so knowledgeable. They're like, they can become your best friend on the job site. I kid you not. If you can make that good connection and relationship with another trade, they will definitely help you out. With things like that, it's like it makes your job so much easier. You just feel like, "Oh man, I don't even have to like go around poking my knife in walls and stuff like that." The dude just marked where it says, "Okay, this is clear. There's nothing here. You can run a wire there." He marked where I can drill my hole, and it's like, dude, you're like in heaven right there. You're in and out of there in no time. You know. Um, this is a old house. There's lots of air gaps around doors. D double says, "I don't blame you. If it's your own home and you don't have OCT, just chisel out a rectangle for each hinge versus the curves of the..." Dude, I done that. Oh my god, dude. And the doors come out like they come out like crap, and I feel like, oh man, I feel so silly. I'm like, "Oh man, I suck at this." I suck at it. Oh man, I'm having to get bathroom renovated soon. I might just get them to do it. The answers. That answers that. Where right? Just call him. Just give up. You're like, you know what? Let me just call a carpenter, man. I don't want to do this. Oh man. Oh man. Well, I gotta tell you guys, man, it's so good. Like that's the reason why I like working this trade, because I like working with other tradesmen and getting to know them and getting along with them, and because you get along with them, you have that relationship. They can help you out so tremendously with the job you're doing. It's it comes in hand because then like as an electrician, sometimes hell man, like you'll get welders, you'll get carpenters, you'll get plumbers, and be like, yo man, I need an outlet, I need to get power from somewhere. You can say, hey, listen, let me talk to the carpenter. If you're an electrician, you can say, hey, you know what, let me help you out, I'm gonna call to the carpenter real quick and see where I can run a wire for you. And you talk to that carpenter, the carpenter says, hey man, look, you can do it right here, no problem, blah blah blah, run temp wire, do it right there. Like if you come together, work together, you can make each other's job so much easier. It's like it's that respect that you have to have with the electricians. I know there's like this whole big thing about plumbers and electricians, who's better. Honestly, man, I'm gonna tell you, like, if you like doing the trade you do it. If you catch an interest in other trades and you're curious about the trades, sure, ask questions. If you want to try like do it yourself, because for me, it's like when it comes to plumbing, I'm not a plumber. I'm not gonna be honest, straight up with you guys. As much as I like to see how a plumber works and how they do things, I can catch an interest, but I just wouldn't do it because I wouldn't take a chance of something like if I make a mistake, and I literally have to have that guidance, and to gain that confidence to do it. The proper training goes a long way, and this goes for you apprentices out there too. So listen up. If you are watching other tradesmen work and do their thing, watch from afar. If you got questions, don't be shy to ask questions. It's cool, because you could do it around your house. Now, for me, I've learned to do drywall. That's like one of the first trades I started learning how to do when I would see my dad would take me along to do side work. Like he was a carpenter. My dad did some plumbing, some electrical. He knows how to put up new windows, doors, all that stuff. Because he learned it from his dad, from my grandfather. And I would learn how to he would teach me how to frame out new walls, put up drywall, put up studs, how far apart, how close, where you got to double stack studs for doors and walkways and so forth. And I would learn that from him. And I would even learn how to patch up walls. Like he would show me how to patch up a wall or a hole in the wall, or whatever, and do patch repair work basically. And it was like I would practice and practice and practice, and I would get really good at patching holes, smoothing them out, painting, and it would look like it was never there. And me as an electrician, I learned to do that. I still have that skill. I call it a temporary skill because it's like I don't do it every day, but when I need to do it, at least I have some knowledge of how to do it and the skill to do it, you know. And it's always good to carry skills like that because it makes you more valuable to the company. So if your boss is like, hey, listen, there's a big hole here, blah blah blah. I don't want to call. I don't want to have a subcontractor because I got to pay them to get the job done. If you have that skill and you're good at that to do minor patchwork, I'd say go for it. If you feel confident enough, tell your boss, hey, I can do this. I do this, at my own home. I do this on side work and stuff like that. I can do this for you. We just get the material and you pay me to do it. No problem. Right? It's always good to carry like secondary or third, a secondary skill set. Me Dibble. Oh, he did it right. If you want my attention, guys, real quick, just type in at KleinGuy Jon. It'll highlight orange on my end. And I can actually just read what you have to say. Dibble says at KleinGuy Jon, if the work dries up in New York City, you can go work with CK. CK? You mean UK? I don't know. You know when you need work in the bathroom when the water is coming through the kitchen ceiling. Oh man, kitchen ceiling. Yikes! Then you definitely got to call a plumber. I wouldn't want to repair that work. I mean, it depends because I have experience in HVAC. It was like one of my first actual trades that I did. I mean, actual trade would have to be drywall, but the second trade I got into was HVAC, and that was going to be my primary trade until I realized, like, at the age of 20, it wasn't as easy as I thought it would be. I thought it would be like, okay, I land a job with a company, they do year-round work, they do heating and air conditioning, but that wasn't the case. Even though they did heating, they weren't getting as many heating calls, so I would get laid off and try to find work elsewhere. And it was very seasonal for me, and it was very hard. So I said, you know what, I gotta learn a different trade. I gotta learn something that's year-round work, and I evaluated what I was highly skilled at. And what I did was I like to wire motors or install motors, condenser motors, EVAP motors. And I realized, well, you know what? It's electrical. I did a lot of electrical troubleshooting. I was very good at that. And I said, why not try electrical? So I did. And I'm here now, 9 years, almost going to be 9 years. Next month on of the 7th of March will be 9 years in the electrical trade for my, so, yeah. Oh, construction cronies. Oh man, right? Yeah. I'll just get my passport and then I'll be like, hey, I'll get my fiance and be like, hey, let's go to Canada. Here's a lot of construction work booming over in Canada. Let's just go over there and I'll go move in Edmonton and find Chris Conkle and say, yo man, let me be your helper. Teach me the way. Dude, if all else was to fail, I mean, I have two trades on my belt. I can always alternate between two trades, but if push comes to shove, I would actually take on being a builder, building out studs, putting up steel studs, wood studs, be a framer and a drywaller. I wouldn't mind being a builder. Honestly, I don't mind that job. I really don't. Because I enjoyed watching the guys build it, and there were times where when I was with my dad, I would enjoy putting up drywall, cutting studs, doing framing out the job, and it was fun. I enjoyed it. It was very, very productive, and it's like, because at the end of the day, you're done. You're like, you look back and you take pride. It feels so good to take pride in that work. It really does. I wouldn't mind that. That would be my last resort type trade because I enjoy doing that as well from time to time. Building something with your own hands, like physically doing that with the materials you have. It's actually fulfilling. To me, it feels, anything I do with my hands, whether it's electrical, HVAC, or if it was framing or doing carpentry, it feels good to make something from using your hands and using the proper tools. And man, it's just a good feeling, man. It's just a good feeling. Less chance of getting shocked while drywalling. Oh man, it's funny. I haven't been shocked. I haven't gotten electrical shock in some time now. And it's not because I'm afraid. It's part of that. I would say maybe 25% of fear is involved in what I do. Actually, I wouldn't say that. Let me take that back. My biggest fear. I can tell you guys my biggest fear is. My biggest fear in this trade is basically not coming home at the end of the day. For whatever reason. But if it's on the job And if something was to happen, God forbid something was to happen, yeah, my biggest fear is dying in the trade. And it doesn't mean that, and you guys are probably wondering, like, why? If that's your biggest fear, why be in this trade? I enjoy it still. Um, I got the proper training. I was trained by one of in my opinion, one of the best electricians I've worked with, who is now retired. And once in a while, we keep in touch with each other. It's always good to do that, because that person has the highest knowledge. He's doing this for 30, almost 40 years. He's got all that knowledge here. You go to him for advice or for some information, and it never stops. But going back is like, if I fear that, some people may question, then why do it? Because I enjoy it. Um, Now that I have the knowledge and the know-how, the training, the skill, I know what to look for. I know that never work on live unless you have to. And if you have to, there are steps to take when working live. Okay? I know for a fact, if I'm working live, I have to tap into a live feed, and that feed is connecting outlets for computers, sensitive equipment. I have to be aware that, obviously, it's live. I have to also take steps, procedures on working live. Meaning, if I'm working live, I got to use insulated tools. I have to have my PPE on. All that. Now, some of you are saying, well, what are the steps? Like, some apprentices may say, well, what are the steps you take doing live work? Well, having proper PPE and using insulated tools are rated over 1,000 volts. Excuse me. And number one, you basically, like I said, if I'm working live, I take the steps of when I'm splicing a new wire to a live circuit, I tie in my ground, I tie in my neutral, and then last I tie in my hot. If I'm disconnecting something, a circuit to that existing circuit, but I gotta do it live, vice versa. Unsplice the hot, cap off the feed, unsplice the neutral, cap it off, unsplice the ground. That's it. You take your time. There's no rush. I take my time when it comes to situations like that. I don't mess around with electricity. The number one thing on my trade is, that's what my number one fear is, not coming home, getting killed on the job. And that's why I don't even try to be reckless. Me trying to be reckless is basically being reckless. I don't try. I take precautions. I be very careful what I do, no matter what it is. An outlet, live outlet, like I unsplice or tap into a live feed for whatever. A lot of guys look at me and say, "Man, why are you so scared?" No, it's still important, Take your time, make sure everything's all right. You make sure everything's running perfectly fine and normal. Move on to the next job. And you gotta, and here's an understanding also. Electrical is a dangerous job. If you're getting into the electrical trade, please understand it's a dangerous job. Why is it a dangerous job? Well, you're working with electricity. Yeah, because working with electricity is dangerous because you can't see what you're working on. You can't see electricity. You can't see it. You're working with something that's invisible. That's why there's special tools, testers, equipment that can help you find out if you have power, if it's energized or not. That's why I have the proper tools to do so, to troubleshoot, to diagnose. All this comes in with all the training you get and the experiences you gain. Okay, um, and that's it. So my greatest fear is not coming home because I've gotten careless with what I do. And that is my greatest fear, and I think about that every day when I leave out the door and I get in the van, and the first thing I think about is don't die today. And I'm confident of what I do, but I always have to remember that no matter how perfect, how good I am in my trade, there's always going to be, in any given situation, there's always going to be a mistake. And I have to be aware of what I do at all times. Okay? That's it. That's it. I think about that every day. You know? That's my greatest fear. That's my greatest fear. Okay? But I still love what I do. All right? And there's nothing wrong with that. Let's read the chat. Let's read the chats here. Less chance of getting shot on drywall. Megan says, "Okay, I work graveyard shift, so I'm going to bed now. Cheers and God bless you too." Me again, Dave. Have a rest easy, my friend. Dibble says, "Oh no, I just jinxed you." Later, me again, Dave. Dibble says, "You being reckless and trying a new last night dinner that you know nothing about." Okay. Oh man, good one. Let's see here. Oh, okay, cool. Just getting some notifications here. So yeah, when I going back to what I said earlier, in that during that conversation, that you're working with something that you cannot see. You can't see electricity. It's a known fact. You cannot see electricity. So you cannot assume that something is de-energized when it's energized. Always assume when you approach something, whether it's a service call or whether it's on the job site, if you come across something that's electrical, always assume it's energized. And when you assume it's energized, always take steps. I say, okay, if it's energized, I need to get the right tools to find out if it's 100%, to confirm that it's an energized equipment or an energized device. If it is, find the source of the power. Find the electrical panel. Can I turn it off? Or do I have to work with it live? These are the things that have to kind of run in your mind if you're an electrician as well. So yeah, be very careful when doing electrical work. Where be very careful what you're working on. Okay. Late, not last. Nothing about late. Okay, I got what you mean, Dibs. So, all right. So going back to this, the vacuum. Vacuum's good. Vacuum's good. I mean, as you can see, the reviews here. Let's take out the reviews, by the way. Review time. Here we go. So, the reviews are in. So the overall rating is 3.5 stars. Okay. Phil Spector from Dallas, Texas says he gives it 2 stars. The 0970-20 vacuum hose assembly. And how do I get a replacement hose assembly that broke in 8 months of use with the vacuum? And the response from Milwaukee Tool is from 2 days ago. Wow. Hi, Phil. We are sorry to hear about your hose assembly. We will contact you via email to assist. Kayla with Milwaukee Tools. Well, that's pretty cool. Super Geek from Texas gives it 3 stars, and it says, good vacuum, other issues. All right. Damn, what the heck? 3 reviews, 1 vote, and his skill level is professional. He gives it 3 stars, and he says, "This vacuum works well for its intended purpose. I love that it's pack-out compatible. The issue I have is with the hose storage. As others stated, seems somewhat loose. My big issue is one of the pins for the carrying handle fell out after first use. Kind of defeats the purpose of the handle." Well, that's just a bit poor craftsmanship. So he may just have one of those out of like 100 or a million of these that have that one issue. Response from Milwaukee Tool. Look at this. This was 11 days ago. They responded, "Hello, we are sorry to hear that this happened to you. Please call our team at 1-800-SAWDUST to assist." Mike 351 from Watertown, Wisconsin says he gives it 5 stars. Wow, that's pretty big. Pellet grill. Okay. "I bought this for changing out my pellets in my pellet grill. Works great and fast. Great time saver." Well, there you go. And then you got Michael I or 1 from Indianapolis. Indianapolis says 5 stars as well. "This thing sucks." Not what you guys think. Not what you guys think. It says quiet yet powerful, which in fact it is a quiet vacuum. That's one of the one-ups of this vacuum. It's pretty quiet. "This vacuum is easy to deploy with exceptional reach on the hose. 2-speed switch is great for conserving battery life. Can thoroughly sweep out a crew cab truck with 2 5.0 amp hour batteries." Pretty cool. And Anonymous says needs better hose storage battery housing. Gives it 4 stars. Oh wow, this guy's got a big he's got one heck of a big statement here. He says skill level is a casual do-it-yourselfer. I use the M18 pack out for a lot of things. General cleaning of my car, desk, computer. I use the blower mode. I got it out of the sheer fact I own other Milwaukee tools. The only issues I have with it is that the battery compartment and the hose storage. Battery compartment is a tight fit. I feel like it could be improved by simply adding a V or angle to the sides to allow the fingers more room to grab the battery when pulling it out. I have large hands, so it may just be an issue of my own. The hose storage is jiggly at best. You guys should make a hinge clip or something to keep it in place. I jostled it loose a few times without barely doing anything. Other than those issues, I haven't noticed anything major that would irk me. Mind you, I'm not a general contractor. Either that would bring this into job sites. It gets what I need done, and I've had no gripes about it aside from the previous minor tidbits. Okay, cool. Oof, this guy, JBST from Suffolk, Virginia, says 1 star. No. This guy said no. Hose broke on 3rd use. I had an older model that was great. Broke hose on that after extensive use. Should have replacement hoses. Took extra caution on hose because it has too much force on hose just putting it out for use. Still broke. Now what? And you see Milwaukee responds real quick. And this guy's skill level is a professional. So 1 review, 4 votes. It says recommends this product? No. Helpful? Yes. No. Some people say yes, it was helpful. Response from Milwaukee Tool says customer service 2 months ago. Hello, we are sorry to hear about your M18 fuel pack out 2.5 gallon wet dry vacuum. We will email you to assist with a warranty claim. Kayla with Milwaukee Tools. Seems like this Kayla person is like in charge of this department. If you pray, well, this guy Lance W from Seabrook, Texas. He's a professional. His skill level. He gave it 1 star 2 months ago. If you break the hose, you are out of luck. If the hose breaks, it is impossible to get a replacement assembly. I broke mine over 6 months ago, and every time I call Milwaukee, I'm given a new date the part will come in. At this point, it was a waste of money, and customer support should care less. Could care less. I will never buy a vacuum by Milwaukee again. Damn. Woo. That's tough. Customer service says, "Hello, Lance. We're sorry to hear that you have not had the best experience with the replacement hose on the M18 Pack Out 2.5-gallon wet dry vacuum. We will email you shortly to assist." Kayla with Milwaukee. Come on, Kayla. Kayla, what are you doing? Help the guy out. He needs that hose. Come on. You're making Milwaukee look bad. No, I'm just kidding. You're just doing your job. Mr. King says, oh man. Mr. King gave it 2 stars. He's from Texas. Didn't last long before it broke. Wow. There's a lot of issues going on with this vacuum. It's weird. I haven't experienced anything with this vacuum as yet. And other than I don't abuse it. I mean, I can understand. Maybe they want something heavy duty. They're rattling it around. They just don't realize it, and it just breaks. I mean, it happens. I've had tools I try to keep in great condition, and at times I get flustered on the job when I start, banging around the tool a little bit, not realizing like, oh crap, I'm actually kind of wearing this tool down, and something breaks, and I'm like, crap, just get it fixed. That's all. Okay, it says 2 stars. Didn't last long before it broke. I am a plumber. Professional level. He's a plumber. Here we go, guys. Plumbers, listen up. I am a plumber, and I use it to suck out the tank's out of toilets before I replace components, and have had it maybe 3 months. Went to turn it on in a client's house, and nothing changed batteries, and still won't turn on. Oh, a lot of money for very little life. Hope I can send it out for repair. Hashtag Milwaukee, please help. And they responded, customer service responded 2 months ago saying, "Hello, thank you for your review on the M18 Pack Out 2.5-gallon wet dry vacuum." When I say 2.5 gallon, 2.5 is 2.5 gallons. 2.5. 2.5 is 2.5. We would like to further understand your frustration with this vacuum. We will email you shortly. Kayla with Milwaukee. Come on, Kayla. You gotta do something. Give the man a hand. Let's see some of its features actually. Let's see. It's up to 60% more suction, up to two times quieter. That's a fact. It is pretty quiet. I've used this vacuum, and I gotta say, when I use customer's house, right away they say, "Damn," wow, that vacuum's really quiet," because I can literally hear the customer talking to me. If it was a rigid, how loud rigid like typical shop vacuums are, like they're really loud. You can't even hear the customer, let alone hear them right next to you talk. This thing is so quiet. I can literally have a conversation with the customer while using it. It's like it's amazing, and it has that. The suction of it is pretty impressive. 47-inch water lift, powerful suction for wet and dry applications. Yes, I've used it for wet applications too. Tested it. It's pretty good. Fully compatible with Milwaukee Pack-Out modular storage system. It's OSHA objective data compliance for select silica dust producing applications. So you can use this when you're drilling through concrete that contains silica, that could produce silica dust while drilling. I've used it myself. It's amazing. That HEPA filter helps out a lot. High-low switch, replacement washable, certified HEPA filter model 49-90-1900. Yes, you can wash the filters are washable. The HEPA filters. I still have the original HEPA filter in my vacuum. It's totally clogged, but you can easily shake the filter and it clears out. You could even wash it with water. Rinse it out with cold water. And let it dry for like half an hour to an hour, and it's good to go. Vacuum power tool adapter. So there's the model number right here. It comes with it, so you can attach it to like your cutoff tool, your grinders, other vacuum ports, hammer drills, stuff like that. Unmatched mobility, less downtime. True, easy to carry out. 50 CFM, which is pretty impressive. Sound power level is 87 decibels. 87 decibels. That's pretty low. Not bad. Its capacity is 2.5 gallons, 2.5 gallons. Built-in blower port. Oh, this is the best part of this thing. Some of you may not notice this about this vacuum. If you own it, understand the comparing this to other shop vacs. Other shop vacs have a blower port, right? Or I like to call it an exhaust port where it blows out. And at times when you're using a shop vac to pick up water or dust, it usually picks up some of that water or dust and shoots it back out, which causes even more of a mess. This thing right here, what they did with this is that they separated that. They separated it from the reservoir, because usually most shop vacs have are the blower attachment is attached to the reservoir. So if it's blowing out, it pulls out some of the dust and creates more of a mess. This thing is awesome because it doesn't do that. It just blows out. It sucks in air to the machine and it blows it back out, recirculating the air. It doesn't blow out dust or water. It separates itself that. So that way you don't make it. It doesn't make a mess for you. That it doesn't create another mess for you to clean up. Or you don't have to put a diffuser or like those diffusers to quiet down or filter out any dust or water coming out of it. I've had shop vacs. I have a 2.5 gallon shop vac from Husky that does that. It just, if you're picking up water or dust, it blows it back out the other end. I have to put like a diffuser on it to reduce the sound, and well, it doesn't really reduce the sound as much, but it filters out that. It keeps it from escaping. It's a pain because sometimes it falls off, and then pick it back up and clean whatever it blows out. But the built-in blower port is amazing. I don't have to worry about it blowing out water or any dirt that I'm picking up. It's just clean air coming out of it. It's awesome. So if you haven't noticed about that vacuum, I suggest that you check it out for yourself. Onboard storage, accessory storage, which is great. Fleece dust bag compatible. But here's the model number for it. So if you're looking for a fleece bag for an extra filtration, here's the model number for it. Let me just highlight it right real quick. There you go. Me Dibble says the only work vac I have is a record shop vac. 4-inch hose. It's not quiet. My vac is like an oil drum with a big vac on top. Oh man, you have one of those oil drum canister vacuums, dude. That's like real old school design right there. But I gotta tell you, they still do the job, man. But yeah, that's the one thing, and I hope they designed. I really hope that the new shop vacs that Milwaukee has now with the M18s, I hope they designed it with the built-in blower port. I really hope they designed it the same way as the M18 pack out, because if they do that, dude, you know how many, like, I don't know, man. That'd be so convenient. If you guys built the new M18 shop vacs that way, the same way you did with the M18 pack out with the blower port built, that is so much easier for cleanup. We don't got to worry about debris, dust blowing out again, or water blowing back out. That's really a lifesaver right there. All right. Let's see what else. Let's go back to. Oops, sorry. Let's go back. I'm kind of getting excited doing a little bit of my own take on these tools. I've purchased some new organizers and some new pack out that I will be doing. Hopefully, I could do a video review on real soon. Let's go back. Oh wait, what did I just do? I clicked it back on again. All right, let's do this. Let's go. Now the next one is this guy. Toolbox. Let's go to toolboxes. All right. The compact toolbox, impact resistant body, IP65 rated protection, and quick adjust dividers. This guy has impact resistant body, IP65 rated weather seal, quick adjust dividers, 75-pound weight capacity. It's a little bit heavy. I give it to because I have one. I purchased one of these. Interior storage tray, which is pretty cool. I like the interior storage tray, and a modular connectivity will pack out components. I mean, this is more ideal for like plumbers, carpenters. I mean, look at the spacing. Look at that. You know, carpenters especially, because you guys can just put in, if you want like an individual toolbox for your circular saws, that's like the perfect little size box that you can put it in. I mean, look at this. You could roll it out. You could stack them. Look at the way he has this stacked. Right? Now, if you don't have organizers and you just have this, and you can't stack up anything on top of it, you're probably going to have to buy either the cooler version of this, if you're the type that brings like stuff to you with you on the job site or on a service call, or you can get another box and put it on top, or you just get more organizers, stack them up so you can evenly stack up other pack outs. For me, if you I got the vacuum and this box, so they are equally sized at height and dimension, so they go side by side. So if I need this box, because I use this box as my roughing kit. Basically, I have my the new M12 oscillating multi-tool kit in this. This is what all my blades and stuff, because this is designated as my roughing kit. I have on the tray, I have all the little OCW clips, bushings, connectors, and inside, like in these compartments, I have like my cutout boxes, 1900 box or 4-inch steel boxes. I got devices like outlets, duplex receptacles, single receptacles, GFIs, all that stuff. It's a really good little box if you're doing like a small rough-in job, and it's good to carry around. So, yep. So that's what I have this box designated for. Very, very good. But if you're like a plumber, this is like, especially for you guys, you plumbers, man. I know how you guys want like organization with all your fittings. This is perfect for like larger fittings. Perfect for you guys. Like it's a game changer. Yeah, it's definitely a game changer. My rank on this box, I rate this out of 5. I rate this a 4.5, to be honest with you. That's my rank. That's what I rated for. Look at this. Oh, man, I'm looking at this drawer. I'm dying to get one. I'm just dying to get one of those drawers, man. I can't do a review on those because I don't have those as yet. Ooh, I was close to getting this guy right here. But, I backed out. Pack out light and charger. I've been thinking about it, but I'm not too sure as yet. We did the vacuum. Now the cooler, you guys already seen my take on the cooler. I love this cooler. My only gripe on this cooler, man, I really wish they did I mean, it's an amazing cooler. 30 hours of ice retention. It's amazing. I forgot one night I left some like ice in here. The next day, the ice was still like semi-melting. It was still there. It was like, oh, dude, I don't gotta put new ice. I can just put my more drinks in there, and it's an awesome cooler. I mean, it's one of the best. Very portable, decent size. It's got a little cup holder right there too, if you want to like eat lunch and stuff. Oh, this guy's got 2 of them. That's cool. I mean, it's not bad to carry 2, because think about it. You got one to carry your lunch, one to cool off your batteries when you're charging them. Just remember, like it's always good to have an extra cooler, because if you're on a job site and you're constantly charging batteries if you're using cordless tools, and you're running them on tools, and what happens when you run those batteries for a long period of time? They produce heat. Heat is the enemy of a battery. So what you want to do is keep those batteries cool. It's not recommended to, and I wouldn't recommend when you're using a tool and you've been using it all day, running it constantly, and it's hot. Don't right away put it in the charger. Why? It shortens the life of the battery. It could even vice versa that too to the charger. It shortens the life. Remember, the charger has electronic parts in there, a circuit board and stuff like that. They produce a lot of heat when charging a battery. So you don't want to put in a hot battery in a charger because it won't charge. Usually you'll get the troubleshooting indicator lights showing that it's too hot or it's too cold. But if it's too hot, put in, if you got a cooler with ice, some like, I wouldn't say put like raw ice in there. I would put like ice in a bag and then just let it sit on top of the bag and close it up and let it cool, like let it cool off. Heat is the number one enemy of a battery. You don't want your batteries to burn out. So always keep that in mind. Keep your batteries cool at all times. Once the battery's cool, give it about a few minutes or so or a half hour. Once it cools, charge it up. That's it. All right. Don't put it in the charger right away. You definitely shorten the lifespan of the battery. All right. Let's get back. Oh man, it's 5:12. Oh man, I gotta end the stream. I'm sorry, guys. I've been rambling on with these. Okay. So looking old, but it works. My vac is looking old. Lost you for a minute there, but you're back. But I gotta go in a minute. Cold is not good for batteries either. Yes, coldness is also an enemy of the batteries too. You don't want to leave batteries. I made the mistake by leaving my batteries in my van during like the coldest days of this winter. I went to a service call, plugged in my batteries onto my tool, and the batteries work. But when I tried to charge up some of the batteries that were dead and they were ice cold, the charger would tell me it's too cold, and I had to leave it out, put it somewhere to warm up the battery to room temperature, so that way it could properly charge. So be very, very, careful with that. Temperatures can affect, the variation in temperatures can affect it. High and too low temperatures can affect the performance of the battery. So my suggestion, if it's too hot, keep the battery cool, at least to room temperature or below. A little slightly below room temperature is fine too. It's not going to really do anything to the battery. If you're keeping it way too low of a temperature, like if you throw it in a freaking freezer and you take it out or something and you try to charge it, it's going to tell you too cold. You got to warm up the battery, warm it up, get it to room temperature, plug it in, let it charge. Oh no. Oh, no. We're going through some issues here, guys. I'm so sorry. The stream is acting funny. But anyways, I'm going to end the stream, guys. I'm so sorry. I've been talking all day about tools, and that's what I wanted to get to. But before we do that, any questions, concerns, or anything like that, you can leave it in the comments section down below. Also, you can check out the links down below in the description box where I left links of any questions about electrical, different websites like I left it on Mike Holt website there. If you want to know more about grounding and bonding, check out the description box down below. The links I left, there should be 3 to 4 links. Let's see here. Actually, there are 4 links. There's MikeHolt.com, the NFPA.org, the IEEE.org, and also if you're in the HVAC trade and you want to go and get your EPA test, there's a website down below. It's called EPAtest.com/store. It will take that website, I believe it will take you to, if I'm not mistaken, it will take you to mainstreamengineering.com. It's a website for for everything HVAC. Whether you're going to go take your all green e-green test, you can take your test there. You can take 2 tests that are actually for free of charge, which is your preventive maintenance certification, and also your 410A certification is for free. EPA is not. They will charge you a fee depending on what you pass. There are 4 parts of the test. There's the core and type 1, type 2, type 3 of the EPA certification for refrigeration. handling refrigeration and selling and so forth and purchasing. So if you're interested and if you're in the HVAC field and you're coming and you're just learning about it, you're in school, actually ask your school if they provide the EPA test towards the end of your curriculum. If not, you can go on the website on Mainstream Engineering. They also provide tests, study guides, anything you need in the HVAC field to help you out, to get certified and get you started so you can build your career and live a better life and become a better technician in your field. So, anyways, man, that is a lot. Mouthful. By the way, I don't know if you guys can hear me on this. Let's see. Man, the stream is super slow. I am so sorry, guys. Let me, it's not in sync. You can go on the website on Mainstream Engineering. They also provide tests. Oh, man, that's okay. Anyway, sorry for the stream. It's going pretty bad right now. But anyways, sorry. Here we go. So, if you are living in the New York City area within the 5 boroughs or in parts of Long Island and parts of New Jersey, give Leader Electric a call for any electrical needs, whether it's your just need some outlets and a light fixture put up or a ceiling fan installed, or maybe you just need a new circuit breaker replaced. Give us a call in our service department at 212-665-0600. If you have a big or small job or even an extensive job, you're a contractor, maybe looking for a subcontracting electrician, or maybe you're a business owner and you want to start doing a whole remodel or renovation, and you need an electrician, give us a call. Leader Electric in our contract department, contracting projects at 212-665-0606. We are located at 2218 Broadway, Suite 244, New York, 10024. If you like further information, you can contact us at on our email. Email us through contact@leaderelectric.net. And if you want further more information and reviews on the company and want to learn who we are, you can go to www.leaderelectric.net. Again, we're here for all your electrical needs, whether it's troubleshooting, new construction, violations removed, fire alarm and security systems, CHP generator systems, remodeling or renovation jobs, intercom and 220-volt services. Also, we do voice, data, audio, and video installations and AC lines. Needed troubleshoot for AC lines, boilers, and motor controls. We do residential, commercial, and industrial electrical work. So contact us. That's Leader Electric. Service Department, 212-665-0600. And for contracts, call 212-665-0606. I'm going to leave the card number right here so you guys could see. You guys probably saw me looking back at the cards anyway. Hey, my mom's here. Hey, Mom, how you doing? When you use camera 2, it gets funny. Yeah, it's a little funny there. But there's the number, guys. So if you want to take a quick snap picture, there it is. Leader Electric. Those of you who live within the 5 boroughs in New York City, or if you live in parts of Jersey or Long Island. All right, we're taking calls. Okay. All right, guys. So, oh, wait a minute. Let's switch it here. Again, I would like to say thanks for me, Dibble, for the moderators, me, Dibble. Thanks for hanging out with me today, buddy, keeping the chat clean. Also, me again, Dave. Thank you so much for visiting and stopping by, as well as New Jersey Workshop. I really appreciate an old, familiar face coming by and saying, "What's up?" All right, and yeah, I'm surprised that Codeman Studios. I haven't seen him in a minute. I mean, I'm back anyway for this this episode, but hope he's doing okay. And then all of you guys, all you YouTube creators out there in the industry who watch or maybe have heard of me or maybe you've seen clips of me and so forth, I don't mind you guys. You can stop on by and say hi and You don't have to stay for too long if you don't want to, or if you're too busy. You can swing by, stop by, listen in, whatever. Listen, I gotta get going. It's getting a little late. It's gonna be 5:30. I got stuff to do. I got things to cover. All right. So again, I appreciate every single one of you guys. Thanks for stopping by. It's the first episode of season 4. 4 seasons. I hope we keep going strong. Listen, I'm not looking to be huge or famous in any type of way. I'm just out here giving back in my own way to the industry, passing on information to all the new, young, apprentices and helpers out there who just need a little bit of a push and some advice, and some info, and how to get in and get by in trade. All right. So listen, if you are a helper, an apprentice, you want to leave a question, you have a question for me, I believe the email I left you, my email is in the description box down below, along with a few links that can help you through and guide you through any testing and get you some credentials that you need in the industry, and basically be the best you can be in the trade as well. All right, guys. So again, thanks for watching. Hope to see you guys soon, and stay safe out there. Always remember, wear your personal protective equipment, watch each other's back, help one another out. I'll see you guys next time. Peace out. Have a good night. Get ready for Monday. Tomorrow's Monday. Work week ahead.
Have you ever felt?
Are you listening? Damn.